Hey guys, J-Man here for another comic book review. Superman #1. Let's take a look at that cover here. Superman #1. All right, well, if you know me, then you know that Superman is my favorite character. Not comic book character. Character. Period. Anybody. Any literary character better than Sherlock Holmes or Tarzan or Phantom or Snake Plissken or any of these other guys. Love Indiana Jones, kind of all my favorite people. Superman is my #1 favorite. I always buy Superman comics. It doesn't matter, even if they suck, even if stupid things happen, Bendis, even if stupid crap like that happens, I still buy it. Son of Kal-El, I did buy the first few issues and then just stopped because it was just boring to me. But if it's Superman, like actual Kal-El, I will buy it no matter what. Supergirl, Superboy, Jonathan Kent. These are the maybes. Like, I will look at it and get it sometimes. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, I got the first 3 or 4. It was just felt like nothing was happening. Just canceled that. This Action Comics where he's on Warworld or whatever, I just did not care at all. That was a bloody 2-part story that they took forever to tell. Superman is a man of action, okay? That's why he's in Action Comics, and Batman is in Detective Comics. This is what Superman is. He should be fighting people and doing stuff. This Warworld stuff, okay, he's on there and he's doing some fighting, but he's depowered, he's beat up, and it's just tiresome, okay? It's tiresome. Yeah. So here we go. They relaunched this again for the 400th time, volume 75 or whatever they're on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it using my space system. Story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 for bad, 2 for great. Once you add up all your categories, you get a score out of 10. That's how I grade comics. It's going to be difficult to grade Superman comics because the space system grades comics against themselves and the promise of what they're going to deliver. If you're telling me, hey, Superman's going to Warworld, he's going to fight a bunch of guys, then I expect that to be happening. I don't expect that to be dragged out forever. And at the end, it's just like, well, yeah, he wins. It's like, okay, Superman's gonna win, so there's no point in having like a suspenseful thing going on, like what's gonna happen. It's like he's gonna win, so just get to what the story is about and tell it. All comics recently, except for the independent ones like Spawn or well, I guess is that even an independent? It's Image. Image is not really independent, I guess, anymore, but whatever, it kind of is. It's not the big two. The big two, Constipation Comics, that's what they sell. Hey, here's an issue where nothing happens, but we're setting it up for later, just like the MCU. We're setting it up for later. Can I get a movie that I'm watching now be good? Like, remember when The Winter Soldier was a good movie? It was just a good movie, and then, there was sprinklings of things where, ooh, this might come later, but the whole movie on its own was just a solid, good movie. Same with, like, Avengers, right? Captain America Part 1, right? What happened? This should be like comics too. It's like, give me a good comic, and then if I like it, I'll read on. Don't set stuff up for later if there's not going to be a later because this was boring. Anyway, all right. It's impossible to use the space system on Superman because there's so many comics. How am I going to compare this? I can't say this comic, like if I was comparing this to everything that came before it, it's not going to be very good, right? Because it's just that classic Superman is kind of gone. So I'm going to have to talk about this and grade it based on today's kind of mentality of Superman, right? Where everything that comes out is either depowered Superman, or he's not as good, or he has to be ashamed of who he is, or we can't have a good action or whatever. You can't say you can't say America, even though I'm Canadian, and Truth, Justice, and the American Way, we said it in Canada when we were pretending to be Superman, and no one got nervous about it and said, how come he didn't say Canada? We didn't care. Anyway, that said, let's get on to this. So for the storyline, I'm going to give this a 1.5 actually out of 2 because I was actually interested in what was going on, and there is going to be more. So it's still a setup, which is why it's not getting a perfect score, because, so I'm saying it's slightly better than average, okay? And this is average for a modern Superman comic. This is not 1.5 storyline if you're comparing it to, you know, previous Superman comics, or, you know, even some of the early post-crisis stuff and pre-crisis, none of that. It's like for today, like we're talking Infinite Frontier, let's say New 52 and on. Rebirth had some good stories. So I'm giving it a slightly above average because newer comics aren't that good. So think of that scale, right? This is on scale. So I'm giving it 1.5. Pacing, I will also give the pacing at 1.5. Oh, the story really quick is, okay, so Superman's back. He's saving people. He fights Livewire in the beginning. And he can hear people, of course, because he has super hearing. So he keeps hearing Lex Luthor. He keeps hearing Luthor's name and all that. They have Lois Lane, who's now the head of the Daily Planet, because Perry White's doing whatever the hell he's doing. Just because it's like that, you can't have Perry White be the thing anymore. It is what it is. This is cute. So basically, instead of LexCorp, there's now SuperCorp. So Lex Luthor has created SuperCorp, and he's basically forced Superman to become like the head of SuperCorp, his own corporation, which is, I guess, formerly LexCorp. And Lex Luthor has also did something, I forgot what issue it was, where he's made everyone forget that Superman's identity is revealed, because that was dumb, right? And we knew that wasn't going to last, and it was stupid. So that's at least normal. So I'm giving it above average because they did fix that earlier, and also I am intrigued where this is going. This SuperCorp thing's kind of funny, so I'm interested to see what happens with that. Okay. Other things happen. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing. Pacing, I'm going to give it a 1.5 for pacing, which is very good. I felt that this actually was telling a story in an interesting way and introducing people really quick to what Superman is and what he does to get you going. So it's a number one. Pacing on number one issues is never going to be 2 out of 2. Like it just can't happen, because there's always going to be some sort of introduction of what everyone's doing and blah, blah, blah. No one cares, but you have to have that. So that being there means that it's not going to be a 2, but they handle it pretty good. So I'm giving it a 1.5. Okay. The artistry, I really like the art here. I will say that. Again, I'm not grading this art versus like John Byrne or Kurt Swan or Neil Adams or Garcia Lopez or something like obviously it ain't that, right? But I actually like it. I feel it looks really nice to me. It feels like a nice comic, you know. It actually feels really nice. So I have to say that I actually do like the art here, giving it a 1.5. It's very bright, you know. It does make me feel like it's Superman. You know, I like the way that this costume is, okay? So I'm giving it a 1.5, which is really good. For the characters, I'm going to give the characters a 1.5 as well. I like Superman in this comic. You know, I like Lois in this comic. Jimmy's kind of interesting. Luthor. There really isn't any like live wires there for a bit, which is fine. There's not a lot of character development going on. I'm almost judging this just based on who the characters already are. I do like the interplay between Luthor and Superman in this, which is mostly kind of the story elements, but I'm translating that to characters because I actually do like the characters here. Like, nobody pissed me off or anything in this comic. I'm not giving it a full 2 because they didn't really do anything extra interesting. They're just kind of like, you know, okay. So I'm giving it above average, so 1.5. And for the enjoyment factor, I'm going to give it a 1.5 as well. So I'm going to give this 7.5 out of 10, which is actually astronomical compared to how garbage these Superman comics have been lately, for me personally. Like, that Action Comics run, garbage. I don't care about it at all. I skimmed the crap. I read the first like 2 or 3 parts and was like, yeah, I can't. And there's a guy out there who describes, I skimmed the issues, and there's a guy who, there's a channel, I can't remember the name, where they actually like, just tell you what happened in every comic. And I'm like, yeah, that I kind of just watched that guy. I can't remember the guy's name. Comic Breakdown maybe, or something like that. Anyways, yeah, just watch that guy. He'll tell you what happened. So I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10, which is way above average. Most comic books get between like 5 or 6. 7 or 8 is pretty good. So I'm going to give this a mild recommendation. If you're a Superman person, you're going to read it anyways, right? I've got buddies who are Superman people. They're just going to read this. It doesn't matter if I say it sucks or whatever. I want to see what they think. I like overall, I'm liking this. If this was compared to old Superman comics, there's no comparison. Obviously, like this would be like a 4 or 5 out of 10 or something, right? Like just mild pass, right? But compared to all of the rubbish that's out right now, it's definitely better than that. We now have to see where this goes. So 7.5 out of 10 is very good. That's a very good score for, you know, a modern big 2 book, which usually I don't get. Iron Man was pretty good, has been okay, but I'm already losing interest in Iron Man. For example, I was giving it like okay, I was like, yeah, I like this Iron Man, but now I'm losing interest. I'm never gonna lose interest in Superman because it's Superman. So, but yeah, Deadpool, I'm canceling it. What else? Wildcats, I'm going to probably go to digital on Wildcats and stop getting the physical comic. It's fun, but like, again, right? Superman and Wonder Woman, I always pick up. Batman's usually a digital character because there's just so many Batman comics that I literally don't have the room for it. If this continues at a 7 out of 10 level, I will be happy because the previous level was 4 or 5 out of 10. So it is much better than what we've gotten recently. Keep that in mind. That's how the space system works. This ain't no friggin' pre-crisis Superman. I know some people don't like John Byrne. I like some of the John Byrne stuff. It ain't no friggin' John Byrne stuff. It's okay. So let me know what you thought in the comments. Now, I've gone very easy on this, and it's a Superman comic. I'm always going to go easy on Superman. It's just that's who I am. I'm telling you right now, there's a bias there. So 7.5 is crazy good. Like, you know, critical me would be like, I'll give it a 6, right? Like, really, this should probably be a 6. But because it's Superman, he's my favorite, I'm giving it 7.5, okay? I'm easy on Wonder Woman as well. My Superman stuff's on the other side. So, yeah, let me know what you thought of Superman #1. I think a lot of people did like this from just talking to casually to people. And then there's some people who are just not going to be fans of it because modern Superman is just not doing it for them. I agree with both sides. I'm going to buy it. It's Superman. That's just how I roll. That's it. I have a Facebook group for DC Comics Presents, which I just now recently upgraded it or updated it, whatever, to pre-crisis Superman. So the link to the Facebook group is in the video. And that's a pre-crisis Superman group. I feel that I don't think there is a pre-crisis Superman group out there. I thought if there's not one out there, I may as well have it. So I think we've got like 77, 78 members right now. Love to see you guys on there if you want to check it out. Pre-crisis only though, so this won't be covered on there. Yeah, anyways, let me know what you think. Tonight I'm live streaming with Sean and Professor Bill from Comic Book University. That's going to be tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be talking about every single comic book that came out in 1991 in the month of February. That should be a lot of fun. All right, guys, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this book, okay? I actually really want to know. Like, I know what people say would do the comments, but I actually do like hear what people say because sometimes they'll come up with something that I didn't think of, right? Because I don't know everything. So sometimes somebody will say something. It's like, oh, I didn't see that. Like maybe there's some epiphany in here that I missed. Could be, right? And then it's good to know. So then I know for the next video, right? So anyways, guys, all right. Thank you for watching. Until next time.